Hey, what's going on, guys? Nice day out today. I am processing my last of my elk meat. So I'm outside because it's nice out, one. Two, the wife doesn't like it when I mess up the kitchen processing meat. So I'm going to go through kind of some of the things that I need to process meat, and then we'll kind of get into it. So let's take a look. All right, one thing that I'd absolutely need is a grinder. So at Cabela's, I got this carnivore grinder. Here, pretty nice, high powered, grinds really well. And I also have a food saver for vacuum sealing my meat. Other than that, good sharp knife and the meat. That's about all you need. So let's get into it. I process meat because I really don't want to spend the $400 or $500 to processing fee to take it somewhere else to get it processed. I don't care much about like the fancy jerkies and Slim Jims and sausages, so I kind of just do everything myself. It's a lot of work, but you save a lot of money, and you know exactly what your meat is. Sometimes I've heard horror stories that you may not get your same meat back. I know exactly what goes into this. I know exactly how it's cleaned from the kill to the field to here to the table to the dinner table. So come on in, let's take a look. All right, here we've got a hind quarter of an elk. What I've done here is I've just cut out a big old chunk out of the hind quarter, and I freeze this. And what I like to do is unthaw it a little bit, get a good thaw, still semi-frozen. That way it makes it a little easier to cut and easier to grind in a grinder. So what I'm going to do here is kind of just explain what I'm going to do with this chunk that I've just taken out. All right, with this chunk I've just taken out, obviously we've got fat and silver skin on this side, fresh meat on this side. So what I do is if I'm going to grind this, I'm just going to take it and, if you guys can see that, take that and just chunk it up. So one side I've got silver skin, the other sides I've got good fresh meat. I'm just going to cut that silver skin off real quick like this. Just a couple little trims, nice chunk of meat. Put it in the grinder, ready to grind. Now let's say that I want to do a roast. What I actually do with this is, maybe this is the size of a roast that I want. I'm just going to vacuum seal this right up. And then later, when I'm ready to cook it, I'll unthaw it and clean it all up, clean up all the fat and the hair and any dirt that's in there when I'm ready to cook this bad boy. And how I vacuum seal that up is over here. I don't know if you can take a look. I've got a food saver with vacuum sealed bags. So what we do is just put these in the bag, seal one side of it, label it elk, put the meat in here, stick it in there, it vacuum seals it, goes in the deep freeze. Pretty simple, pretty easy. But most of the meat that I process is ground meat. I eat a lot of ground elk, ground deer. I don't eat a lot of roast, so I'll probably chuck most of this up and grind it. But let's say I wanted to do a steak. Come back down here, take a look. So what I'm going to do here, I'm not left-handed, so why don't you come around to this side. So what I'm going to do here is, you don't want to cut steaks with the grain of the meat. You're going to want to cut it against the grain of the meat. Get a good starting steak, so maybe that's the size of my steak, and so it's against the grain. If you can come in here close, you're pretty close. Mm-hmm. Come in here close, you could see that it's against the grain. We got that marble, not with the grain of the steak. We're going against it. And maybe I just want a steak to be about that thick, about that size. I'll probably just freeze these. I'll put probably 3 or 4 of these in a freezer bag, or in the vacuum seal bags, and just like it is with the skin on, just like it is, and I'll clean it up when I'm ready to cook it. But let's say you wanted to trim it up real quick. Come back down here, take a look. So you know that this side and this side is nice, clean meat. I'm just going to trim. Let's just trim off the fat, the silver skin, any hair, dirt that might be on the meat. Real quick trim. There we have it. So we've got a real clean, fresh, nice steak. Marinate, cook up later. So there you go, guys. That's how I process the meat. I know a lot of like new hunters out there are a little intimidated by process. It's actually pretty simple. It's just a lot of work. If you don't want to do all the work, drop it off at the processor. They'll make you fancy sausages and Slim Jims. And you're going to pay for it, but that's okay if you don't want to do the work. I don't mind the work. If I kill the animal, I'll go through all the whole process, make sure I take care of it, make sure the food gets on the table nicely for my family. So thanks for watching. That's how I process all my meat. Have a good day.